Good evening, Glue Troopers. Max of Max's Models here. I hope you're doing well. Got my errands run today, but the weather was so nasty outside, I decided just to stay in the house and watch movies with my wife. Well, we watched this documentary called Apollo 13 Survival. Just came out. It's really good. I've watched every space documentary I could, and this one is definitely worth a watch, and I learned some stuff. During the documentary, I happened to mention to her that this is not entirely unlike a movie that was made about a year before the Apollo 13 incident called Marooned. And I talked her into watching it. It was one of my favorite movies. It still kind of is. In fact, it won an Academy Award for visuals, even though the special effects really don't hold up so well today. But at the time in 1969, they were great. And it's a good movie about a Apollo that gets marooned in Earth orbit. I don't want to get into details in case put out spoilers in case you guys haven't seen it and want to. But I remember seeing it at the theater, or at least seeing the posters at the theater. I don't remember if I actually saw the movie at the theater or on TV, but my wife didn't really like it that much because of what they did to poor Richard Crenna. But, you just don't do that to Colonel Troutman. But it's still one of my favorite movies. And looking at the XRV, of course, I was wondering, I wonder if anybody makes a model of the XRV. And, of course, the only one who does that I could find was Fantastic Plastic, because Alan Ury makes all the cool stuff. That got me wondering, the XRV, although it's apparently inspired by, if not outright based on, a 1965 Martin proposal, and this picture is from that proposal. The XRV was never a real vehicle, but they did make a full-size prop. And apparently it's in the museum for the Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. Now, I've been at the museum. I don't remember seeing it. Maybe didn't have it 25 years ago when I was there, or I didn't notice it, or I don't remember. I think I would remember it. But anyway, there are pictures out online. It still exists, so that's really cool that the full-size prop still exists. But it got me wondering about a program that actually did exist called Dyna-Soar. And Dyna-Soar does have quite a few people that make models of it. Of course, Dyna-Soar is short for dynamic soaring. And it turns out, I didn't realize this, but in 2022, AMP Models put out a styrene 1/72nd scale Dyna-Soar, which I believe has 83 parts. There's some builds online you can go look at, but that's cool because I believe all the others are resin kits. I think all the Anywh and Collect Air were resin. I'm not really sure about the Collect Air kit, but it's really cool to know that there is a styrene model of the Dyna-Soar. And I think they run $30 to $35, so not cheap, but then what is in modeling these days. Anywho, I just thought that was all super cool, and at some point we'll probably talk about that stuff, and I might send that information to Dan Monroe in case he wants to work that into one of his videos if it's of any use to him. Speaking of which, still in contact with him and hoping within the next couple of weeks to have him zoom in during the live stream. For those who haven't been to his channel, that's Movies, Music, and Monsters. It's a great channel. If you love this kind of stuff, you'll probably love that kind of stuff. One final note in closing. I put up the wrong card on this morning's video. The live stream is scheduled for Saturday night, and it should be the birthday video from Hurricane Hobbies. And, of course, my co-host Ken should be there with me, along probably with Ian and whoever else is hanging around in the store. Well, that's what I have for today, guys. Take care of yourselves, and as always, model on.